Hi friends, I get a lot of questions on how to change the color of the meters in the Reapertips theme, and I wish I could say it was super simple, but it's not. It involves maybe like 5 different steps. However, you're with me, you'll be fine. I can walk you through all of the steps. I'll do it very slowly so we can do it together, and in 5 minutes, you should be able to get this done. So feel free to follow along. I'll walk you through it. So should be fine. Let's go. The first step to change the color of the meter is to go to the options menu right here at the top. And then we're gonna go right at the bottom where it says show Reaper resource path. We're gonna click on there like that. And it's gonna open the Reaper folder where all of the Reaper data and all of the files are. So it's a bunch of folders and stuff. In here you will find one that is called color themes. You're gonna search for that one. Color themes should be this one. And in that folder, you should see all of your different themes that you have loaded into Reaper over time. I have a bunch in here, but yeah. In this folder, we will find the theme that we want to modify. In this case, it's a Reapertips theme. And I already found it in here and I cleaned it up so we can be more focused. Here's the process. We need to unpack this theme, extract it. We need to go inside this theme and modify some image files that are inside here. So that's the process that we're gonna have to deal with. But don't worry, very simple. So the first step to extract this theme is right click on it and rename it. So renaming it, we will go to the end of the name where it says zip, Reaper theme zip. And right here, right before it says zip, we're gonna add a little dot like that. So it turns into dot Reaper theme dot zip. So once you do that, at least on Mac and on Windows you work the same. The computer is gonna start to think that this is a zip file and then it can be extracted. On Mac, it will say that if you want to turn it into a zip file, you will press OK, use zip. So now this is a zip file that you can extract. Double click on it and it's gonna give you a folder that includes a folder and a file. So these two are basically a theme. If you compress this back and put you'll see when we do the steps back, but these are basically the Reaper theme. So now, the next step is to go inside this file, in this case the Reapertips dark version, and then we're gonna open it. And don't be scared. There's a lot of files inside. I mean, I was scared the first time when I opened this. I remember I just saw all this bunch of files, but then it made sense over time. Because a theme is just a compilation of a bunch of tiny files. For example, look at these tiny things. This is basically what makes a theme. So, and you will see that there's multiple sizes. For example, the 200% files are here, the 150% files are here. Depending on the scale that you're seeing the theme, you should be using those files. But in this case, we don't need to worry about that because meters work in any scale. So they should be around here in the root folder. So, by the way, this could be your chance to also do any other modification that you want to try out, or maybe in the future, maybe this could be your gateway to starting to modding and maybe you make your own theme. That's how it started for me. So, yeah. So in here, we're gonna find a file that is called meter strip. Should be called meter strip and meter strip B and H. These two files. When you open them, you will see they look like this. This is the horizontal meters and the vertical meters are here. You will notice that there are images. So yeah, the meters are images. Basically, when Reaper plays audio, it's just completing these images, like filling it with the gain information. So basically you create with this image the final look, like the maximum meter, and Reaper's just gonna just you know and then you will see the horizontal version and the vertical version in here. Okay, so now that you found that these two files, there's two ways we can approach this. And one way is the one I recommend, and it's just finding another theme that you like the meters of. For example, I believe this other theme, I like the color of the meters, LCS flat. I think those meters look pretty good. I like that, and you can audition them how it looks if you like that. Be like, I like this one. Or maybe there's another one that I really like too. I believe Holy or Peace. Yeah, this one is nice too. And then Pauli also has nice meters. Yeah, all these meters are great. And maybe you are into those meters, and that should make things a little easier because you don't need to go to Photoshop and create the image yourself. You're free to do that if you want to do it more specifically, but you can just grab another theme's meters and put it into the Reapertips theme. And let's actually do that. Let's say that we liked the meters of the LCS flat sets. Let's say that we like these meters and we want to bring it over to a Reapertips theme. So the first thing we need to do is go to the is do the same thing we did to the Reapertips theme. We need to unpack the theme that we want the meters of. And it's actually, yeah, this one, LCS flat. I already unpacked it here to save us some time, but it's the same steps. And you will see the meters are here. Those are the meters that we want. So in this case, we're gonna copy those over, like Command C in this case for Mac, and we're gonna paste them in our Reapertips theme images folder. So the one that we just opened at first. So we're gonna paste in here and we're gonna replace those two images. And now we should have these images in here. And if we're happy with this, we're ready to pack things back again. So we're gonna go again to the top folder. And now make sure that you select the folder that contains the images, which is this one, and also this file right here, .reaper theme. These two files you're gonna compress. We're gonna select these two and select compress. There you go, it's compressing. So now that we have the zip file, and for this zip file, we can name this Reapertips theme with green meters, maybe. Like that. And very important, we can do at the end dot Reaper theme zip, like that. We make the same kind of extension that all of the other themes have. So dot Reaper theme zip. So once you do that, it's gonna start recognizing this as a theme that you can load into Reaper. So use Reaper theme zip, like that. Boom. We got the theme with the green meters. Let's try it out. So we're gonna drag and drop this into Reaper. And now if I play this, we should have, ooh, that looks nice. What the hell? That looks really good. Nice. So yeah, those are the LCS meters if you want to grab them. Pretty good. The only thing I wish the recording meters look different. That's one thing I really like about the Reapertips theme. I made it so the recording meters they look like that, but the general meters can look blue. Because I only care about these divisions when I'm recording, but if I'm just mixing, it's fine with the blue meters like that. That's why I have it like that. But I understand why some people might prefer to have it like the other. But this, honestly, pretty good. So yeah, that's your modified theme. Congratulations, you're now a Reaper theme mother. Mother. I don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, that's basically how you mod themes in Reaper. And now you can feel free to grab any other theme images and put that in your theme. That's how the Reapertips theme started actually. I just started messing around, opening the theme and just seeing like, I like this button from this other theme. And I just boop, grab that and put that in my Reapertips theme. It's like, that looks great. And I just started doing that. And then eventually like, all right, I'm just gonna design this because I wanna do it like the way I want it. And that's how I ended up making a theme. But you can also do it. It's a really fun thing to do. It's totally unnecessary, but it's just fun. If you see it like a fun thing to do, you're free to do it. But I understand if it's not your thing, yeah, and you just want to change the meters and you have to do all these steps. It's a pain in the ass, but yeah, you only have to do it once, but that's it. Now there's a second method that I wanted to show you. It's still a pain in the ass, but you don't have to deal with Photoshop or anything, but you can choose your own colors of the meters. That involves again opening the theme. So feel free to rewatch the video on how to open the theme. So when you open the theme, instead of doing what we did of replacing the meter with other meters, this is what you will do. You will find the meter strip H and just rename it to say underscore off or any other name. Just change the name to ads or something. It's just like disabling the image. So the theme is gonna stop finding this image. So we will do the same thing for the meter strip B vertical and the horizontal. So now these two say off. Now if we pack this back as we did with the other one, by selecting these two files, compressing, and let's rename this to Reapertips theme custom meter colors. And that color, no, and that Reaper theme zip. So that's our theme with custom colors. So you will see when I drop this theme in here, you should now be able to change these meter colors to whatever you want. And the way we do that is by going into the actions menu, which is this option right here, show action list. And in here, we're gonna type tweak like this. And then we find this theme development, show theme tweak configuration window. And in here, we're gonna filter by meter like this. So in here, you can be more specific with the colors that you want. So the top can maybe be red like this, maybe the bright red. And then the middle can be yellow. And then the bottom can be blue like this. And yeah, that will be your custom own colors. And you can also do the clip indicator color. Oh, if you want to do the clip indicator, you will have to do off on one of these images. The meter, hold on, meter clip. Yeah, this one you will do off like that and pack the theme and do all those things. But yeah, pretty much you can disable those images. and do your own custom colors in here. Or the cool thing, if you want to make these look with little scan lines in between, you can activate this interlace view meters, which makes them look pretty cool, honestly. It's got like a little texture to them. That's pretty cool. Very importantly, if you do any of these changes, make sure that you click on Save Theme. So this is gonna save the colors of what you just changed in here. So if you change here, custom meter colors, maybe red, yellow, something like that. So now this theme is always gonna remember that you chose those colors. And yeah, that's the second method. Honestly, a little bit more complicated. I wish it wasn't that complicated. But yeah, it is what it is. Um, Feel free to ask me any questions. I'm not sure if I missed anything, but if I did, I'll make sure to reply in the comments. So, hope that was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.